I'm Ramon Parsons. I'm chair of the Special Conferences Committee at AACR. Cancer is a multi-pronged, a multifaceted disease, and we have to look at the problem from many different angles. We look at it from the very basic, mechanistic, biological, biochemical, chemistry points of view, but also we look at it from the public health point of view, and finally from the therapeutic and prevention point of view. And the special conferences are an incubator for developing approaches to treat cancer. We purposefully design conferences using co-organizers from different disciplines. We'll bring in a co-organizer that's a very basic scientist and a co-organizer who sees patients every day and bring them together and say, you guys come up with a conference and figure it out. And when we do that, it really brings together different fields from the beginning, right? So we design it to be integrating the different disciplines. We also have conferences where we invite speakers from a wide area of disciplines as well, so that we make sure that we have representation. We have patient advocates coming to many of our conferences and participating in panel discussions, and also in the audience. The area I think that is really interesting from the point of view of translation is when we come across a target where new drugs are already in the clinic and look like they're showing activity, but they're not working perfectly. There you really see a lot of interaction between the physicians and the data they're collecting from their patients and their clinical trials, and how to interpret that data. And they get the opinion of the experts that study the biochemistry of that particular signaling pathway that they're studying, or the mouse modeler that can develop a mouse model that mimics the human disease and identify a combination that might be useful in the clinic. The special conferences are a great place for our young scientists, graduate students, postdoctoral fellows, assistant professors earlier in their independent career, to not only show their quality work to the world and present it, but also to learn from what the world has to offer in that field. And I've sent my students to these conferences, and they really have been transformative, because you can imagine someone who's working hard in the laboratory, working in a solid research environment. They go to a meeting that has got every expert in the world there. They're all communing together, they're having lunch, dinner, in the same room, they're lecturing and talking and giving posters, attending the poster sessions. And it's a very social atmosphere where science is the topic of discussion, and people make contacts and really not only make contacts, but also learn a lot because they're exposed to material that they might not have been aware of. We have a whole range of cancer genomics conferences that are coming out this year, from both the actual analysis of tumors to identify new cancer genes that are mutated and potentially causing cancer, and also causing metastatic disease or cancer progression. We also have conferences this year that are sort of focused on analyzing that data. This data is all based on next generation sequencing, which is a huge amount of data, and it's a gold mine, but at the same time, it's a bit of a giant haystack too, with a lot of hay and a few needles. So the expert analysis of this data requiring mathematicians and physicists and people with really high quantitative skills is really coming to the fore, and we have a meeting that's on this topic. And the other area that we're really trying to figure out is, how do we work in real time to perform a diagnostic genetic test on a patient and then use that information to personalize their therapy and give them individualized treatment for that specific case that patient has. It's a very important thing. It's very translational for us to bridge the genetics of cancer that is really rapidly being developed, and then using that information in an insightful, meaningful way that is actionable and leads to better cancer care for the patient.